Okay. Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Let's talk about what is likely to be the most consequential piece of music news to drop this week. That is Oasis getting back together. Yes, Oasis, the world-famous, legendary, influential rock and 90s Britpop band, long feuding brothers and lead songwriters of the band, Liam and Noel Gallagher, pretty much called the group quits in the late 2000s. Their relationship publicly was obviously known to be pretty volatile prior to that point. And in the 15 years since Oasis broke up, the band reuniting has pretty much become known as one of the biggest white whales in rock. The sort of thing that even casual fans of the band reflect on and think, fat chance, no way that's going to happen. But before we get into all of that, I want to do a quick shout out to our sponsor for this video, the good people over at Warby Parker.
Guess who's back? Back again. Warby's back. Tell a friend. Hey, listen, I just did this intro that you wanted me to do. Is this a good idea? Are you sure about this?
What's the problem with it?
It just seems kind of cringe, okay?
You have to do it.
So yeah, my eye doctor told me to get an extra pair of sunglasses, and that's when he told me about the good people over at Warby Parker. He said to me, Warby Parker is one of the leading manufacturers of sunglasses, glasses, and contact lenses. They've started selling frames like these online and in 250 stores across the US and Canada. Warby Parker makes all of their frames in-house and only uses the best materials. And just as I was about to ask my doctor if he was secretly a Warby Parker spokesperson, he said their online checkout process couldn't be easier. He also said thanks to Warby Parker's virtual try-on tool, you could try out any frame or color variation within the comfort of your own home. Here I am trying on a pair of frames in front of the Grand Canyon. And now that I have this new pair of sunglasses in hand, I can certainly say the frames are high quality, they're tough, they fit my big head real nice, and the shades themselves are actually very dark and luxurious. So if you want to get a new pair of sunglasses or update your old prescription, go to warbyparker.com and get 15% off when you order 2 or more pairs of glasses and sunglasses using the link
in the description. Anyway, over the years in interviews, Liam and Noel haven't exactly had the nicest things to say about each other, even though generally speaking, Noel seems to have been more against historically the band getting back together than Liam has. Plus, add on top of that, both of them respectively seem to be pretty deep into their own solo artistic trajectories right now, which each have received middling to positive reviews. So with those creative outlets in place and Liam and Noel seemingly stonewalling each other over the years, it seemed like there was basically no chance at all that things would reform, that the band would get back together. But lo and behold, 15 years later, here comes this announcement that the band is going to actually be doing a series of performances live in the UK and Ireland. Of course, given just how rocky and ugly the band's split up originally was, there are some questions at play as to like whether or not these shows are actually going to happen. But I mean, this hiatus has been going on for a long time. I imagine some serious amends and concessions have to have been made in order to get both of the brothers to the table for these shows. Plus, on top of it, when you look at the dates they're about to play, the amount of demand there has been for Oasis to come back and the money they're likely to make on these performances, there's a lot riding on the line to do these shows. Also, given the band's history, I imagine there has to have been like something taken into account in the contracts behind these performances to sort of make sure that they go through playing these stadium shows, because just canceling them out of the blue like this because they're feuding again most likely would cost the Gallagher brothers a lot of money that I'm not sure any fight with your brother would really be worth. And, you know, honestly, let's face it, like 90s rock and artists who were big in the 2000s as well, like there is such a huge nostalgia nostalgia factor for a lot of these bands and artists right now. A lot of these groups are actually seeing big ticket sales based off of nostalgia factor alone. So again, I think it is more likely than not that these performances will go over, and they'll go over pretty well, possibly with a bit of nipping and barking here and there, but they're probably all going to happen. So yeah, while I do think it is cool and good that these live shows are going to happen, as of right now, I wouldn't put too much faith in the idea of things going any further than that as of right now. Maybe let's wait and see how these live performances go first. Because of course, with a reformation like this and a bunch of live shows that most likely will extend into a world tour of some sort if they actually happen, that's sort of the thing. Like, all of these shows are condensed into a series of performances in the UK and in Ireland. I imagine that they don't want to extend things out any further until they actually see if these performances go over well and, you know, if they don't blow up in everyone's face. If they actually happen and it goes over smoothly, then maybe we do the rest of Europe. Then maybe we do North America. Then maybe we cover other spots too. But even if the Gallagher brothers manage to get through all of those performance dates without a hitch, I don't exactly have high hopes for anything from this point in terms of like an album or like the band really getting back into the studio to smooth things over and write some new music together. Being able to get on stage with a bunch of other musicians who you have a lot of history with, maybe some rocky history with, and just kind of play the hits, being able to do that and being able to get into the studio again to write and create together, make new songs from scratch. Those are two completely different beasts, one of which I think is much more easy to thwart than the other. But look, I could be wrong because, again, at the end of the day, money does talk. And if the price tags for live performances for Oasis are as high as they are at this point, and that's enough to get the band back together, most likely a record label or two are going to be willing to pony up some pretty huge advances to potentially get the band back in the studio to make some new stuff as well. But most likely still, it's going to be the live shows at the end of the day that are going to be the most lucrative thing. But there you have it. Oasis Live in 25 with a trailer, a poster, tour dates, a whole announcement, and everything. In their little band statement, they say that it's not going to be televised, but look, believe me, if some crazy shit goes down at these shows, it's going to be captured and it's going to be all over the internet, which again is also even more pressure for everyone to just kind of make sure that all of this kind of, you know, goes over without any problems. And as bitter as the Gallagher feud has been over the years, I feel like Liam and Noel are very well aware of how this has kind of reflected on them personally and as artists over the years. And the last thing either of them would want to do is somehow make the look of all of this any worse than it has been. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this for right now. Let me know yours in the comments down below. I'm sure you will. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Oasis, live in 25, forever.